Good morning, sunshines. I hope you all are up, showered, and excited because it's hump day. Hump, hump, hump it up, hump it up. Hump your dreams with your sex appeal. Anyway, I wanted to really talk today about emotional codependency, emotional dependency. And this could go in every category of our lives. We can be dependent to our family, codependent to a intimate relationship, dependent to a friendship that's toxic. We can be dependent to food. We can be dependent to even our physical looks. You know, those people that really work out so hard because God forbid they gain 1 pound or like they get one stretch mark. Dependency to acquiring more material stuff. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I really love the topic on intimate relationships because if you know me just a little bit, you know I was a monkey in the past. I jumped from one relationship to another relationship to sometimes I had 2-3 branches at one time in my own hand. That being said, I never really understood why I kept cheating on men or why I kept needing this kind of attention that I necessarily I didn't expect it. I just went on and looked for it. I was the hunter. I was always hunting men. I was the flirtatious, the putica, and it always worked. I always had someone right on my lap. But as the years went by and I continued to see that my same patterns of even cheating on them or just all of a sudden like finding that I wasn't happy being alone, I realized that I was codependent. I was emotionally depending on someone's company, someone to being by my side so that I could have someone better to do, or something better to do. So one of my last relationships started being very passionate, very sexy, very quick. And at first I didn't think anything of it. I was just like so into him, and I was so in love with him that all the passion and all the times in bed was just extremely exciting. And as my passion leveled off and my infatuation stage just leveled off, he started becoming very compulsive on how much time we would spend together, or like, you're not calling me enough, or we lived together, mind you. I mean, he lived at my mom's house, and he started like not really liking the ideas when I would go out with my friends, which I don't do that often. Back in the day, I didn't do it that often. We were just starting working, so my friends were really working. But even when I wanted to do it, like, he would always throw this like passive aggressive look on me, like, and then if I would leave work, if I would just take a little longer in traffic, he would be like, oh, where are you? How come you haven't gotten home? Like really controlling my steps. And every time I wanted to make a plan, in my gut, I felt I had to call him or ask, not permission, because I've never been the girl that needs to ask permission, but I really felt that I needed to kind of like include him in the plan, because he needs to be in the plan, doesn't he? And as my even libido went down, just because, you know, I'm that kind of girl. I'm very sensual and very like, but I don't want to be having sex all the time. I've never been that kind of girl. I just want to hunt the man, have him, you know, enjoy him at first, and then I could have sex every 2 weeks, every week, every 3 weeks. It's not a big deal for me. I just want to connect at a deeper level. So the fact that I wasn't even looking for his ass, oh my God, that was driving him crazy. So little by little, I started noticing how like, how little freedom I was feeling inside, and how like I felt my wings were cutting short. And to the point that one day I decided to take an implant course in Dominican Republic. And I paid for it. It was like $13,000 that I paid a year in advance. So he knew this a year in advance, and he made me feel bad that I had made that decision, when in fact I had made that decision because I had just bought the dental office, and I bought the dental office because of the drive that I was going to always be the provider in the family, because he didn't really provide much. He had just gotten here from Cuba. He didn't really have the means. So what did I do? The moderate, I was like, oh, I'll save us and I'll open an office, and then I'll get ready to place implants so we can make more money. And I went to Dominican Republic against his will. Like, he didn't want me to go that far for 3 days. Why would you leave me for 3 days? what, I'm stronger than that. And I was like, I'm going. And those were the best 3 days of my life. I mean, I danced, I placed implants. I was so happy with the dentist and surgeon that I was. I met one of my biggest mentors in life. He's a dentist, but he's also very spiritual. So he opened up this world for me in a big way. And when I got back that day, I was so happy. I was crying in the shower out of happiness for my own life, for my own like achievements and successes, and how happy I was with myself. And all of a sudden he got home. I remember I was about to shave my JJ, and I didn't shave. I took a picture and I sent it to him with my hairy vagina. I was like, I'm gonna shave. Just like, because I felt inside that if I would have shaved and he would have gotten home and I was gonna be so fresh and shaved, he would have thought that I was doing something over there, or he wouldn't have liked it. And I wasn't mistaken, because when he got home, he had this long face, like he was not happy, and like he didn't like that I didn't run to him like notebook style. I just say, hey baby. I was so excited, like telling my parents all the, like everything that I had learned and everything that I had experienced. He felt like I didn't miss him, that I didn't really care. So that night I was in bed falling asleep because I hadn't slept in 3 days, barely slept. He tells me, almost crying, like, this is over. I cannot beg for your love anymore. Dude, that was it for me. I just turned around and fell asleep. And to this day, it's over. I mean, obviously. So, but I never felt so free after that. Like, it was freedom. And I understood that it was nothing that I was doing. I was just choosing growth. I was choosing change. I was choosing uplifting myself, upgrading, reading, just seeking for truth about reality. And he wasn't up to to that, I guess, homework or soul work. He wasn't in it. So that relationship ended, and quickly, little did I, in a week, I was already attached to the last man before this one. So freaking infatuated, and like wanting him to move from Texas, and doing every manipulative freaking thing in the world to have him here, until I was like, why do I always find men that are either far away or that things cannot work, and I feel this and it's because I didn't know how to be alone. And when I really embraced for the first time in my life about 8 to 9 months of solitude, and I moved out to the beach and lived alone and embraced my friendships and my family coming over, that's when I really fell in love with myself. That's when I really learned what real love is. You cannot give anything to a man if you're not happy with yourself, because otherwise you're gonna be clinging onto a relationship for the wrong reasons. Same for them. If they're clinging onto you and wanting to know every step you're making, every decision, and like making you feel guilty or making you feel like you shouldn't be doing that because you're my woman and how dare you, I gotta tell you, there's some work to be had in that relationship. That man has to work on himself so he could show up from a full standpoint. He needs to be full of himself. He needs to be happy with himself. He cannot expect you to be his happiness. He cannot expect you, or you expect him to show up to make you smile. You are the one that has to make you smile. So after all the relationships that I had, and looking back, I was always searching for myself. I was always searching for this spiritually connected feeling that I have now. I was always trying to marry my feminine with my masculine, my logical mind, my analytical mind with my creative, with my flow, with my sensual, with my sexual. And it wasn't until I really embraced being alone that things started changing, and I landed a man that gives me all the freedom in the world, but it's always there. I know where he is. He knows where I am at, but we are not calling each other constantly or texting each other constantly. Or if I want to travel alone, I am free to just book my ticket and tell him when I've done it, because decisions are hard enough to do by ourselves. Sometimes we go around months to try to come up with one decision. Imagine if we have to include the entire freaking world in it. And when you really love someone and you're spiritually connected to them, you don't need to cut their wings short. You know they're there, and when you allow someone to fly high, they will always fly back to you. And that is my tip for the day. Look around your relationships, look around your life, look around your job, look around whatever you have going on, and see from where you're coming from. Like, are you attached to it? Are you emotionally dependent on that outcome being a certain way? Are you not happy being alone and not having plans? Are you constantly checking your phone to seeing if that person called you, texted you, how long it took, reading between the lines of, oh, is he happy, is he not, does he love me, does he not, did he kiss me enough, did he touch me enough? If you are having those thoughts, honey, you gotta be touching and loving yourself a little more and spending more time with yourself, and knowing that when you become one with yourself, the perfect one will show up, and that perfect one will be so in tune with himself that it would give you freedom to be. It will leave you be yourself without having to like question things and make you feel guilty of anything, or even afraid that you're gonna lose him if you do something. You don't lose something that you really have. And when you are in that connected state, you attract a connected man. If you are disconnected, you're gonna attract a mirror of that disconnection. So relationships are not good or bad. They're just effective or not effective. They work or they don't work. I tell you that I've learned everything that I know to this day because of all the relationships that I've been in, because I've absorbed all the good they have. I've also transmuted like the negative that I've learned. I've made it into what did I learn through that contrast, so that I could have a clarity list going, so that I could make up my man. And that's what I did. Like those 9 months that I spent alone, I started writing in my notes on the cell phone every quality of every boyfriend in the past, and every defect I made it into a positive, like almost like what did I learn that I like for myself and that I want for myself. And all of a sudden I had a list of over 7 to 10 pages, and every time I would add more, I would get butterflies, and I would get butterflies. And one day, synchronicities started happening, and I met Lars through Tinder. And one day I'll tell you the story, because I had signs. There were real clear signs that it had to be that person. And to this day, I'm not emotionally attached to him. He's the father of my baby, and I'm growing and he's growing. But as my growth keeps going, if I don't have someone spiritually keeping up with me, then most likely vibrationally we're gonna be out of touch. So this is my main thing with him. I'll lead, but you gotta follow. Come right behind me, but I want you right next to me. It's okay, because women were more emotionally intelligent. But we want men that are connected to their bodies, that know how to really live this life that is so amazing. So don't settle, and don't give up on your man either. Just help them rise to the occasion. Help them understand that you can be free and it doesn't take away from them. And you can do things alone, even like masturbating or playing with a dildo, or like working on your internal energy so that you can get to that level of internal orgasm and have a kundalini rising. And it's okay. It's okay. You don't need them around to be sexual and capitalize your goals and results with that sexual energy. You don't need them, but you want them. We want them. So let's include them, especially when they makes us feel enough, whole, and not that we're half of an orange. Fuck that. I'm not even half of an apple. Like, we're an orange, we're an apple, and we're a banana. We are everything and more. And they should be too. So anyway, I've got to the office, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna save some teeth today, and arrivederci.